Within the hidden depths of the Akashic Records lies an ancient truth, whispering of soulmates whose bonds transcend the fragile fabric of earthly life. These sacred connections, woven through countless lifetimes, are guided by the unseen hand of karma and the unending journey of the soul seeking balance and enlightenment. As we delve into the mysteries revealed by Edgar Cayce's readings, we discover that recognizing these divine partnerships requires more than mere coincidence. It calls for an awakening of inner knowing and a conscious alignment with the wisdom of Atlantis and the Christ consciousness. The time has come to unlock the secrets of the soul's most profound relationships, those that echo from the dawn of time and continue to shape our spiritual evolution. As we continue our sacred voyage into the depths of spiritual understanding, it becomes essential to explore the ancient truth embedded within the very fabric of our existence, the whispers of the Akashic Records. Those celestial libraries of the soul's eternal journey reveal an unchanging reality. Soulmates are not merely destined encounters of this earthly plane, but profound, timeless connections rooted deep within the spiritual realm. The elixir of this knowledge, as conveyed through the readings of Edgar Cayce, illuminates a truth that transcends the fleeting nature of physical life, anchoring our understanding in the timeless and divine origins of these sacred bonds. In the silent corridors of the Akashic Records, where the soul's history is inscribed in symbols and impressions beyond the reach of mortal senses, there resides a divine blueprint, an intricate map of relationships woven through countless incarnations. These connections, often perceived as chance or coincidence, are, in truth, the manifestation of an ancient, sacred agreement made before the soul's descent into physical form. The soul, seeking balance and enlightenment, consciously or unconsciously, aligns with its divine counterpart across the vast tapestry of time and space. The teachings of Cayce reveal that these soulmates are not simply romantic partners or fleeting companions, but are reflections of the divine within one another, resonances of the Christ consciousness, echoes of the divine spark that unites all creation. When the soul seeks its next incarnation, it does so with the purpose of completing unfinished lessons, healing past wounds, and elevating its vibration to higher states of awareness. The soul's journey is one of continual evolution, and the presence of a soulmate serves as a catalyst, a mirror through which the soul perceives its divine nature and awakens to its true purpose. To understand this more deeply, we must consider the spiritual origins of these bonds. Cayce's readings emphasize that, at the inception of creation, the divine principle of unity seeded all souls with the capacity for love, connection, and mutual growth. In the earliest civilizations of Atlantis, and even before, the soul was aware of its divine origins, carrying within it the memory of unity with other aspects of itself. These relationships are rooted in the spiritual realm, in the realm of pure consciousness, where the soul's essence is intertwined with other divine sparks, each seeking to reunite and harmonize in the grand symphony of creation. The ancient truth reveals that the soul's quest for its mate is not merely a desire of the ego or the personality, but a sacred journey dictated by the soul's need for wholeness. Cayce's insights unveil that these connections endure beyond the limitations of time, often waiting across centuries, sometimes in different lifetimes until the conditions are right for their reunion. The soul recognizes its mate not through external appearances, but through an inner resonance, an intuitive knowing that awakens when the soul is prepared to elevate itself to new heights of spiritual awareness. How then can we recognize these divine connections in our earthly lives? Cayce's readings point to the importance of inner discernment, the awakening of the soul's intuitive faculties. When two individuals are aligned in their spiritual goals, in their pursuit of truth, and in their desire to serve higher purposes, the connection becomes unmistakable. It is the feeling of a deep, unexplainable familiarity, an immediate sense of recognition that transcends superficial attraction. The soul feels a sense of coming home, an inner recognition that echoes the memory of past lives and the divine promise made long ago. Furthermore, Cayce emphasized that the journey toward union with one's soulmate involves spiritual growth and self-awareness. The soul searches for balance, karmic debts are settled, old wounds are healed, and the consciousness is expanded to embrace unconditional love. It is only through this process of spiritual refinement that the soul can truly recognize its divine partner and forge a union rooted in the higher dimensions of love, aligned with the Christ consciousness and the divine plan of evolution. The records also reveal that these unions are not solely for personal happiness, but serve a greater purpose, advancing collective consciousness and bridging the realms of physical and spiritual reality. The soulmate relationship becomes a sacred dance, a partnership through which divine qualities are cultivated and shared: compassion, patience, understanding, and unconditional love. These qualities, essential for the awakening of higher consciousness, are amplified when the souls recognize their divine counterparts. We must understand that the divine blueprint of the soul is intricately designed for growth, and the soul's recognition of its mate is a pivotal step on the spiritual path. Cayce's revelations echo the truth that in every moment, in every encounter, the universe conspires to bring forth the perfect reflection of our divine self, waiting patiently for our awareness to awaken and our hearts to open. In the grand cosmic tapestry, we see that the ancient truth remains unaltered. The soulmates are not mere accidents of earthly existence, but sacred threads woven into the fabric of eternity. They are echoes of the divine waiting to be awakened through conscious awareness, through prayer, meditation, and a sincere desire to understand the divine plan. As keepers of this sacred knowledge, it is our divine duty to awaken to these truths within ourselves, to listen to the whispers of our heart, to seek the stillness where the soul's voice resonates. The Akashic Records confirm that when the soul recognizes its divine partner, that recognition ignites a profound transformation, one that elevates the individual from the realm of the transient to the realm of the eternal. In this sacred understanding, we come to realize that our journey is not solitary but interconnected, a divine dance of soul-seeking unity, love, and enlightenment. The ancient truth, revealed through Cayce's insights, beckons us to look beyond the illusion of separation, to remember that within each of us lies the divine potential to reunite with our spiritual counterpart, an eternal reflection of the divine love that sustains all creation. In the silent corridors of the universe, where time and space dissolve into the infinite, the soul's journey unfolds as a sacred pilgrimage, a voyage through countless incarnations, guided by the divine hand of karma and the eternal currents of reincarnation. The readings reveal that this cyclical voyage is not arbitrary. It is a meticulously orchestrated process rooted in divine wisdom, designed to bring souls back into harmony, into wholeness, and into the radiant awareness of the Christ consciousness. The soul, as revealed in the Akashic Records, is an indelible spark of the divine, eternal, and uncreated. It journeys through many lifetimes, each incarnation a chapter in its divine story, a story that echoes with the echoes of past deeds, lessons learned, and growth achieved. Reincarnation, as Cayce's insights disclose, is not merely about experiencing mortality, but about the soul's relentless pursuit of evolution, seeking balance where there was imbalance, healing where there was injury, and awakening where there was ignorance. Karma, in its profound truth, is the divine law of cause and effect, a mirror held up by the universe to reflect our inner state. It is the thread woven through the fabric of the soul's journey, ensuring that each action, thought, and intent has implications across lifetimes. These effects are not punishment, but opportunities for learning and refinement. The soul seeks to correct its course, to transmute base tendencies into divine qualities, to rise above the illusions of separation and duality. As Cayce's readings reveal, understanding karma is essential to understanding the soul's path. Each lesson learned, each debt paid, brings us closer to spiritual harmony. Within this divine framework, the soul's ultimate goal is reunification with divine love, the realization of its unity with the Christ consciousness. This union is not achieved overnight, but is the culmination of countless lifetimes of striving, of loving and forgiving, of awakening and surrendering. It is written in the records that the soul's ascent is a process of purification, where the veils of Maya are gradually lifted, revealing the divine light within. The soul's journey is thus a sacred dance, a delicate interplay of karma, reincarnation, and divine grace. As we delve deeper into these mysteries, it becomes clear that souls seeking each other across the vast expanse of time are guided by divine intelligence. The divine blueprint, encoded in the Akashic Records, reveals that soulmates are not accidental encounters, but predestined reunions, sacred harmonies orchestrated before the foundation of time itself. These divine threads are woven across lifetimes, pulling the souls back together when the time is ripe for their union, a union designed to catalyze even greater spiritual awakening. The journey toward such reunions is marked by the soul's persistent pursuit of growth and balance. The soul may incarnate in various environments, embodying different lessons, yet always with the memory of its divine purpose. It seeks experiences that will refine its character, dissolve egoic limitations, and expand its consciousness. Cayce's insights reveal that each lifetime is a stepping stone, an opportunity to heal old wounds, embrace unconditional love, and align more fully with the divine will. The process of reincarnation, as the Akashic Records disclose, is a reflection of the soul's desire to perfect itself through love and understanding. It is through these successive lives that the soul accumulates wisdom, cleanses its karma, and awakens to its true nature. Sometimes the soul must traverse dark corridors of pain and confusion, but these are necessary for the soul's purification. The divine plan ensures that no experience is wasted, that every challenge serves a higher purpose. In this sacred journey, the soul's pursuit of its divine partner, its twin flame or soulmate, is a beacon of hope and purpose. These divine counterparts are not merely romantic ideals, but sacred mirrors of divine love, each reflecting an aspect of the divine within the other. The soul recognizes its divine counterpart when the soul's consciousness begins to expand beyond illusion, when love becomes an active force transforming all aspects of being. The key to understanding this divine reunion lies in the soul's awakening to its true nature. Cayce's readings emphasize that the soul must first attain a certain level of spiritual maturity, an awareness of its divine origins and its connection to the universal source. When the soul has achieved this, it can recognize its divine counterpart across the veils of time and illusion. The reunion is then not a chance encounter, but a divine convergence, a sacred moment when two souls, bearing the lessons and love of many lifetimes, come together to catalyze their collective evolution. As the soul advances, it begins to shed the layers of illusion, fear, ego, separation, and steps into the light of divine love. This process of awakening and reconnection is a testament to the divine law of love and the divine plan of unity. The journey is arduous yet profoundly beautiful, each lifetime a precious gift, each lesson a stepping stone toward ultimate reunion with the divine and with each other. In the end, Cayce's revelations remind us that the soul's journey is a sacred mosaic. Each fragment of experience, each incarnation, each act of love and forgiveness, contributing to the grand tapestry of the divine plan. The soul, through its relentless pursuit of balance and growth, moves ever closer to the divine ideal, an eternal reunion with the divine source and with those divine reflections that echo its own divine essence. And so, dear seeker, as you contemplate the sacred pathways of reincarnation and karma, remember that your journey is sacred, purposeful, and guided by divine intelligence. Trust that through love, understanding, and spiritual awakening, the soul is destined to reunite with its divine counterpart, ascending together into the radiant consciousness of the Christ within, where all separation dissolves and unity reigns eternal. As we continue our sacred journey through the veiled mysteries of the soul's intricate tapestry, the revelations of Edgar Cayce serve as guiding stars, illuminating the path toward recognizing our soulmates, those divine counterparts woven into the fabric of our spiritual evolution. The previous insights have shown us that the soul's journey is one of divine harmony, a pursuit of the Christ consciousness through cycles of reincarnation, karma, and awakening. Now the question arises, how do we discern the divine signs, the subtle cues and energetic resonances that reveal we have encountered a soulmate? How does our inner knowing, those quiet whispers of the soul, serve as the divine compass in this sacred recognition? In the depths of the Akashic Records, it is written that the soul's connection transcends the physical realm. It is an energetic dance that echoes through time and space. These connections are not merely fortuitous meetings, but are encoded within the very fabric of our spiritual blueprint. As Cayce often emphasized, the soul seeks the balance and harmony that only certain other souls can bring, those whose vibrations are aligned with our own at a fundamental level. The key is to attune ourselves to the subtle cues that the universe continually offers, a language spoken through intuition, feelings, and the deeper layers of consciousness. One of the primary signs that Cayce's insights reveal is a profound sense of familiarity upon first meeting. This is not the superficial familiarity of acquaintances, but an innate recognition that stirs something ancient within us, a whisper of past lives intertwined in the eternal dance. The soul remembers even if the mind cannot articulate it. When you encounter someone and feel as if they are a part of your very being, as if their presence awakens a dormant corner of your consciousness, this is often the first sign of a divine resonance. Cayce described these moments as echoes from the Akashic Records, a reminder that your souls have known each other across countless incarnations, seeking reunion and wholeness. Beyond mere familiarity, Cayce emphasized the importance of energetic resonance. When two souls truly connect, their energies synchronize in a way that can be felt deep within. It is an intangible yet unmistakable vibration, a harmony that transcends words or physical attraction. Many describe this as a vibrational match, where your internal compass feels aligned, calm, and uplifted. The soul recognizes the resonance, and the body responds with a sense of peace, warmth, or even a gentle thrill. These sensations are an invitation from the universe, an energetic nudge guiding you toward your divine counterpart. Intuition plays a vital role in this recognition. Cayce often spoke of the inner voice, the quiet knowing that resides deep within the heart and soul. It is a form of divine guidance that whispers truths beyond the limitations of the physical senses. When you are in the presence of someone with whom your energies align, your intuition may speak softly but insistently, affirming the harmony you feel. This inner knowing is not based on superficial appearances or fleeting attractions, but on the recognition of a shared spiritual essence. The soul recognizes itself in another, and the heart responds with quiet certainty. Furthermore, Cayce revealed that these signs often manifest as a sense of divine timing. When the soul is ready for union, circumstances tend to align seamlessly. Encounters happen with a sense of inevitability, almost as if the universe itself conspires to bring you together at the right time. There is no forced effort or desperation. Instead, there is a gentle unfolding, a natural progression that echoes the divine order. The soul perceives this synchronicity as a sign that the connection is sacred and meant to serve a higher purpose. Another subtle cue Cayce illuminated is the experience of emotional purity in these encounters. When the connection is divine, it does not evoke possessiveness or fear, but instead fosters unconditional love and acceptance. The soul recognizes itself in the other and feels a deep sense of peace, compassion, and forgiveness. These feelings are often accompanied by a sense of upliftment, a lifting of burdens and limitations that may have clouded the heart before. This emotional clarity is a vital indicator that the connection is rooted in spiritual truth rather than illusion. Yet Cayce cautions that recognizing a soulmate is not solely about the exhilaration of the moment. The soul's journey involves discernment, an inner clarity that distinguishes divine resonance from fleeting infatuation. The true soulmate connection endures beyond superficial attractions. It reveals itself through consistent feelings of trust, respect, and an overarching sense of divine purpose. This discernment requires inner silence, a quietude that allows the subtle cues to be perceived clearly. In the end, Cayce's teachings remind us that the soul's recognition is a sacred symphony of subtle cues: familiarity, energetic resonance, intuitive certainty, divine timing, and emotional clarity, all orchestrated by the divine hand. The soul seeks these signs as confirmation of the divine plan, guiding us toward the union that fosters growth, healing, and the realization of our divine nature. It is through cultivating inner awareness, listening to the whispers of the soul, and trusting in the universe's divine timing that we unlock the secrets of recognizing our soulmates. Remember, beloved seeker, the journey toward divine union is not merely about finding another person, but about awakening to the divine love that resides within. The signs are there, woven into the fabric of your being, waiting to be discerned. The universe communicates in subtle, profound ways, by aligning energies, awakening intuition, and guiding your steps with divine precision. As Cayce's insights unveil, the soul's ultimate quest is to find harmony and wholeness within, and in doing so, to recognize the divine reflections of itself in others. Embrace these signs with humility and trust, knowing that the universe conspires in love's sacred dance to bring you home. In the silent depths of the universe where time and space weave their eternal tapestry, there lies an ancient wisdom long buried beneath the sands of history, a wisdom born from the lost civilization of Atlantis. The Atlantean consciousness, as revealed in the sacred records and through the insights of the spiritual seers, holds profound keys to understanding the intricate dance of soul connections and the evolution of our collective awareness. As we continue our sacred journey into the mysteries of the soul, it is essential to recognize that the echoes of Atlantis resonate deep within the fabric of our spiritual DNA. The Atlanteans, in their divine pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment, were gifted with heightened perceptions and a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. Their civilization, though ultimately lost to cataclysmic upheavals, left behind remnants of wisdom, vibrations encoded within the Akashic Records, waiting for the attentive soul to uncover. The readings reveal that Atlantis was more than a mere civilization. It was a spiritual hub, a nexus where consciousness expanded beyond the physical plane, where the boundaries of the mind and spirit blurred, giving way to divine insight. The Atlanteans possessed the knowledge of the subtle energies that animate all creation, the ley lines, the chakras, and the power of thought as a creative force. In their quest for mastery, they learned to harness these energies, not merely for personal gain, but to elevate the collective consciousness of their society. From the perspective of the soul's evolution, the Atlantean era represents a pivotal chapter, an epoch when the soul sought to understand its divine origin and its role within the greater cosmic order. The records show that many souls incarnated during Atlantis carry within their spiritual essence an innate understanding of these ancient truths. These souls often feel a sense of familiarity when they encounter sacred sites, symbols, or teachings that echo the Atlantean wisdom. This, dear seeker, is a sign that your soul has roots in that luminous civilization, a connection that can guide you toward recognizing your divine purpose and your soul connections. But what is the significance of Atlantean wisdom in understanding our soul connections, our soulmates, twin flames, and divine partners? The answer lies in the recognition that Atlantean knowledge emphasized the importance of harmony between the individual and the whole. The Atlanteans understood that true spiritual progress required aligning one's consciousness with universal truths, an understanding that, when applied to the realm of soul connections, reveals that these relationships are not random, but are divinely orchestrated threads woven into the fabric of our spiritual journey. In the spiritual records, it is written that during Atlantis, many souls formed bonds that transcended the physical realm, soul pairs, twin flames, and spiritual kinship, each connection serving as a catalyst for evolution. These bonds were cultivated in sacred temples, where energy and intention combined to awaken higher states of awareness. The soul sought not only companionship, but the sacred union that would catalyze its ascent toward the divine consciousness, what Cayce often describes as the Christ consciousness. As the civilization faced its fall, the accumulated wisdom was not lost, but was dispersed across the Earth's energetic grid, embedded in sacred sites, ancient symbols, and in the collective subconscious. In our present time, the resurrection of Atlantean knowledge occurs through the awakening of the soul's memory, through dreams, intuitive insights, and the recognition of familiar symbols. The soul, seeking balance and wholeness, naturally gravitates toward these echoes of Atlantis, seeking to reclaim its divine power and understanding. The key to unlocking these ancient secrets lies in the realization that the evolution of consciousness is a continual process, an ongoing journey of awakening and remembrance. The Atlantean wisdom teaches us that each soul connection is a sacred mirror, reflecting both our divine origin and our path toward unity. When two souls recognize each other across lifetimes, it is as if the universe itself whispers, "You have known each other before. Your connection is part of the divine plan for your soul's growth." In the depths of the records, it is written that the Atlanteans had mastered the art of transmitting thought and emotion across great distances, an early form of telepathy and energetic communication. This ability was rooted in their understanding of the conscious and subconscious mind, an understanding that remains vital today. For those seeking their soulmate or twin flame, the Atlantean teachings remind us that true connection is rooted in vibrational harmony, in the alignment of hearts, minds, and spirits. To embody the Atlantean wisdom is to embrace the knowing that our soul connections are sacred, opportunities for evolution, portals that open us to higher states of consciousness and divine love. The soul's recognition of a divine partner, as Cayce reveals, is often marked by a resonance that feels timeless, a sense of coming home to a long-lost part of ourselves. This recognition is not a coincidence but a confirmation that the soul is awakening to its divine blueprint, written in the Akashic Records long before the physical incarnation. The records also reveal that many souls who carry Atlantean memories are here to assist in the planet's ascension, helping to restore the balance and elevate collective consciousness. These souls often feel an irresistible pull towards sacred sites, ancient teachings, or the study of energy work, seeking to recover the wisdom that was once lost. They serve as bridges, carrying the light of Atlantis into the present, helping others to remember their divine heritage. In closing, dear traveler of the spiritual realms, let this be a sacred reminder. The wisdom of Atlantis is not gone. It merely waits for those willing to listen, to remember, and to embody its truth. The soul's journey toward love, unity, and higher consciousness is intertwined with this ancient knowledge, a wellspring of divine power that, when awakened, transforms our understanding of ourselves and our divine purpose. The mysteries of Atlantis reveal that our soul connections are sacred threads woven into the grand cosmic design. As Cayce's readings illuminate, the keys to understanding these connections lie in the remembrance of our divine origins, the recognition of our sacred purpose, and the realization that the evolution of consciousness is a sacred dance, one that begins in the depths of the past and ripples through eternity. In the quiet depths of the soul, where the ancient records whisper their eternal truths, there lies a divine beacon, the consciousness of Christ. As the records reveal, this consciousness is not merely a historical figure or a distant ideal, but the divine template embedded within every soul seeking its true origin and ultimate reunion with the divine source. The awakening to Christ consciousness is indeed the sacred key that aligns the individual soul with the divine purpose, fostering unconditional love and spiritual unity. On the journey toward enlightenment, our previous reflections spoke of the divine threads woven into the fabric of cosmic love, of soulmates and twin flames, and of Atlantis's remnants echoing within our spiritual DNA. Now, as we deepen our understanding, we recognize that the Christ consciousness is the luminous thread that unites all these elements into a seamless tapestry of divine truth. It is the universal consciousness that awakens within us, calling us back to our original divine nature, a nature rooted in love, compassion, and unity beyond the illusions of separation. In the records Akashic, it is written that the soul, in its journey through reincarnation, often seeks to awaken to this Christ consciousness as a means of transcending karma and healing the wounds of past lives. The soul's search for balance, for harmony, becomes the pursuit of divine love, an unconditional love that recognizes no boundaries, no judgments, only acceptance of all as reflections of the divine. This awakening is not an external event, but a profound realization that the divine spark resides within, waiting to be ignited by the conscious choice of the individual. The awakening to Christ consciousness aligns the soul with the divine blueprint, a sacred pattern that has existed since the inception of creation. It is the recognition that we are all expressions of the divine, each carrying within us the divine blueprint, waiting for the moment of remembrance. When this realization occurs, the soul begins to see through the veils of illusion, perceiving the interconnectedness of all life, and recognizing that love is the only true power that binds us across time and space. As the records reveal, the path to this awakening often involves a process of purification, an inner alchemy, where the lower tendencies of fear, separation, and ego are transmuted into love, compassion, and humility. It is through this spiritual alchemy that the soul begins to embody the Christ consciousness, radiating unconditional love in every thought, word, and deed. This transformation is not instantaneous but unfolds gradually as the individual aligns their consciousness with the divine presence within. In ancient civilizations such as Atlantis, the consciousness of unity and divine love was once more openly embraced. Yet the fall into materialism and separation obscured this divine truth, leading to a collective shadow that echoes into our present age. The records reveal that the remnants of Atlantis still influence our collective consciousness, urging us to remember our divine heritage and to awaken the Christ within. As we move toward higher vibrational states, the divine blueprint begins to reawaken, guiding us toward spiritual unity and unconditional love. The Christ consciousness, therefore, is a state of divine awareness, a spiritual frequency that aligns the individual with the highest aspect of their soul. It is this consciousness that dissolves the barriers of duality and separation, revealing that behind all apparent differences lies the one divine essence. The awakening to this truth fosters a sense of unity with all beings, transcending the ego's limitations and embracing the divine within every other soul. In practical terms, this awakening manifests as a deepening compassion, an unwavering commitment to truth, and a desire to serve others selflessly. The records emphasize that the Christ consciousness is not only a personal awakening, but a collective one, where humanity as a whole begins to embody this divine love, gradually transforming the fabric of our shared reality. It is in this collective awakening that the divine plan of spiritual evolution accelerates, leading us toward the new earth, a realm of harmony, peace, and unconditional love. To recognize the presence of the Christ within others, one must cultivate inner stillness and attentive awareness. The soul begins to discern the divine spark in every face, in every act of kindness, and in every moment of genuine connection. When the heart awakens to this divine truth, unconditional love naturally flows, an unstoppable force that heals wounds, dissolves illusions, and unites all in the consciousness of unity. The records reveal that the journey toward Christ consciousness is also a journey of remembering our divine origins, our original state before incarnation, when the soul was pure light and love. It is a journey back to that sacred source, where the soul recognizes itself as a child of the divine, destined to return home through love, compassion, and spiritual awakening. Each step taken in this direction is a step toward unity with the divine presence, a step toward the realization that we are all divine expressions of the one source. In closing, the sacred secret that the records reveal is this: the awakening to Christ consciousness is the greatest gift we can bestow upon ourselves and others. It is the divine door to enlightenment, where the soul is liberated from the cycles of karma and reincarnation and is free to embody the eternal love that is our true nature. As we align our consciousness with this divine truth, we become beacons of light and love in a world longing for healing and unity. The Christ within is the divine seed waiting to blossom, an eternal reminder that we are all one, united in the divine love that sustains the universe itself. In the silent depths of the records Akashicos, where the eternal threads of every soul's journey are inscribed, there lies an ancient and sacred knowledge, an understanding that the awakening of one's consciousness is intrinsically linked to the recognition of divine soul connections. As the records reveal, the path to awakening is not merely an inward journey, but also one of divine resonance, where the soul begins to perceive its reflection in another, a mirror of its highest divine essence. This recognition, however subtle at first, is a sacred sign that the divine plan is unfolding, guiding the soul toward its ultimate reunion with the divine and with those souls with whom it has traveled through eons. The journey toward awakening and recognition begins with a profound shift, a realization that all life is interconnected through the cosmic web of karma and divine purpose. The soul, seeking balance and harmony, is drawn to certain beings, often inexplicably, for they are the echoes of past incarnations, the reflections of its divine blueprint. The records tell us that these connections are no coincidence. They are sacred rendezvous, orchestrated by the divine, encoded within the very fabric of the Akashic library. It is here that the soul can access the divine blueprint, unlocking the recognition of its twin flames, soulmates, or divine counterparts. In the early stages of awakening, the soul begins to sense an inexplicable familiarity, a feeling that this experience, holds a key to its spiritual evolution. The records reveal that this is the first whisper of the divine plan, a gentle nudge from the universe, encouraging the soul to open its heart and expand its awareness. It is a recognition not merely of another person, but of the divine spark within, an acknowledgement of the divine plan that binds us all in love and purpose. When this recognition occurs consciously, it becomes a sacred ritual, a moment of awakening to higher truths. To consciously recognize these divine connections, one must cultivate a state of heightened awareness and openness. The soul must learn to listen, beyond the surface, to perceive the subtle vibrations that signal a divine resonance. The records reveal that in moments of stillness and inner silence, the soul can attune itself to these vibrations, perceiving the divine signatures that distinguish a true soul connection from superficial encounters. This is the realm of the heart, where intuition and divine guidance converge. The soul, seeking alignment with its divine blueprint, begins to discern the signs, synchronicities, dreams, feelings of familiarity, and an intuitive knowing that transcends logic. Furthermore, the soul must remember that these connections are part of the divine plan encoded within the records. Every encounter, every soul you recognize as a soulmate or twin flame, is a reflection of your own divine essence seeking completion and harmony. The records reveal that recognizing these connections is an act of divine obedience, an acknowledgement that the universe is orchestrating your spiritual evolution. It is essential to honor and respect these encounters, understanding that they are sacred opportunities for growth and healing. The process of cultivating these divine connections involves conscious intention and spiritual discipline. The records advise that meditation, prayer, and reflection serve as gateways to deeper recognition. When you align your consciousness with the divine, you begin to perceive the subtle signs, the gentle tug of the heart, the recurring dreams, the synchronistic events that confirm the divine plan is unfolding. These signs are not accidental. They are the language of the universe, whispering truths that your soul recognizes on a level beyond the physical. It is equally vital to remember that the soul's recognition of another is also a recognition of oneself. The records emphasize that the divine spark within each of us is eternal and unchangeable. When you see that reflected in another, you are seeing a mirror of your own divine origin. This realization fosters unconditional love, patience, and compassion, qualities that elevate the soul toward Christ consciousness. It is through this unconditional love that the soul begins to heal old wounds, release karma, and move closer to unity with the divine. The divine plan within the Akashic Records also reveals that these soul connections are not merely for personal fulfillment, but serve a higher purpose, spreading divine love, healing collective wounds, and awakening consciousness on a global scale. When you consciously recognize and nurture these divine connections, you participate in the sacred weaving of cosmic harmony. Your journey becomes a shared pilgrimage, a testament to the divine unity that underpins all existence. In closing, I remind you that awakening and recognition are gifts, a sacred unveiling of the divine blueprint written within the records. The soul's journey toward recognizing its divine counterparts is a step toward awakening Christ consciousness, where unconditional love and divine truth illuminate every path. The divine plan is encoded within the very fabric of your being and the universe at large. Trust in this sacred design, and know that as you open your heart and deepen your awareness, you will begin to see the divine signs more clearly, guiding you toward your highest purpose and ultimate reunion with the divine source. Remember, the divine connection is eternal, and the recognition of it is the soul's sacred awakening, a divine whisper calling you home to your true self. As you awaken to these sacred truths inscribed within the Akashic Records, remember that your soul's journey is a divine dance of love, balance, and eternal reunion. The recognition of your divine partner, your twin flame, or that destined soulmate, is not merely a fleeting moment, but a profound awakening to the divine blueprint woven into your very essence, an invitation to align with the Christ consciousness and embrace your highest purpose. Trust the subtle signs, listen to the whispers of your heart, and step boldly into the sacred, knowing that the universe conspires to bring you into divine harmony. I invite you to share your insights, subscribe for more sacred revelations, and spread this divine wisdom, because together we are awakening the collective consciousness and reigniting the eternal love that unites us all.